The principles of simplicity, integrity and learning were developed with the St Pancras Group some while ago. The St Pancras Group was a group I helped get together, which is a group of just leading academics and building physics and building performance experts. This was in 2009-10. We were very concerned that the legislation for sustainability was running ahead with itself. It wasn't based upon good thinking. We were rushing into things, so we were trying to run before we could walk, or as one of our members said, we're trying to fly supersonically before we can crawl. And this was a way of trying to bring out certain principles which we felt were necessary to produce legislation and policy which could actually deliver a better built environment. And these principles are the same for NBT as they are for the St Pancras Group, and I think for all people working in this built environment. And the principles are simplicity, integrity and learning. And what we meant by those in the St Pancras Group was that legislation has to be simple enough to align itself with the current situation of not very much understanding and a lot of things not being done correctly. You can't suddenly bring in a very complex program when people don't know how to do the most basic things. The integrity was, look, what we do must have integrity. It must be not only tested when it's being done in the real world, but you must test what you're going to test first. So don't launch a policy on people which hasn't been thought through properly. And that integrity means best academic and sort of understanding, best practical understanding in relation to what's already gone before, and also best process. So there must be a process of feedback. You know, you have a policy, you test it out, you then do it in the real world, you then monitor that, and then that's fed back into the next policy iteration. And of course that is where you get the learning. Without that learning, and the learning must operate not only at a policy level, it's got to operate at all parts, at all levels of the supply chain, because if someone understands what they're doing as the main contractor, but the subcontractor doesn't understand, then you're wasting your time. And in fact, all you're doing is building in conflict. So these principles of simplicity, integrity and learning, I think can apply in a lot of areas, not just building actually. You know, and for NBT, those principles are the same. So when people come to us, we try to offer something which is simple, because simple is also cost effective, cheaper, but it's also quite often more deliverable. If you try to get people to do 500 different things, then they're not going to be able to do most of them. If you have a tick list, and I've seen tick lists of sustainability sort of projects, which might have 50 or 60 points that have to be checked. Well, you know, unless you've got a very, very engaged supply chain, those are not going to get done. So we need simplicity in lots of ways. And NBT then says, well, in integrity. So integrity is absolutely vital to NBT. We will not sell something or promote something which we think won't work or which actually doesn't bring any benefit. I mean, what's the point? You know, we're not set up just to sell lots of stuff. Our mission is to transform the understanding and the reality of the built environment for the better. So we need to focus on that. That's our integrity. And that integrity then requires us, if there's an issue we don't understand, to go and spend money on researching it. It requires us to train our people extensively for long periods so that they're able to give the proper advice. And the learning is both with us and with our clients, customers, the contractors that are delivering these systems, and the people who are using them. That we think is necessary for that transformation of understanding and reality. But it's also we hope engages people in a way which makes them understand and engage with and enjoy the building process and living in a different way. I mean, actually learning about how things work and why things are there, and actually not only how it works on the building, but how it might, where it comes from, what its impact on the natural environment has been, what will happen to it at the end of life. That makes a building, for me, and a building process, a much fuller experience.